slogans that was connected to the student uprising in 1968 in Paris. And one of the slogans was, be realistic, demand the impossible. Soyez réaliste, demandez l'impossible. And it seems to me that a new political language is emerging, new visions for being together in a democratic movement, new ideas, new language, new strategies that emanate from the collective imagination. Writers and artists have always helped to negotiate the imagination and to find bridges between what is and what is possible in the future. Bridges that assist us in transforming the social world. And especially Black women writers have done this. I want to quote Chimamanda Adichie, who says, I like to think of fiction as the soul of history. Fiction as the soul of history. Now, it's interesting that the word fiction is defined both as literature and as falsehood. Stories are both narratives and they are lies. And so if fiction can be thought of as the soul of history, then we have to think about the role of the falsehood, the role of the lie. In order for literature, and we're talking about Black women's literature this evening, this afternoon, in order for literature to address pressing social problems, it has to become falsehood in relation to what is. Falsehood is defined as something that is not consistent with fact. Emancipatory projects have to break with the facts. They have to break with the status quo. They constitute falsehood in relation to the existing factual world. If you look at Toni Morrison, who I understand was the first speaker in this series that began in 1997, or one of those years in the 90s, Toni Morrison insists on addressing pressing social problems in her work. In attempting to convey how her own fiction takes on what she calls the house that race built. The house that race built. She insists on the use of what she calls a house-home antagonism. And I'm going to quote from Toni Morrison's essay in the collection that's called The House That Race Built. She said, because so much of what seems to lie about in discourses on race concerns legitimacy, authenticity, community, belonging. In no small way, these are discourses about home, an intellectual home, a spiritual home, family and community as home, forced and displaced labor in the destruction of home, creative responses to exile, the devastations, pleasures, and imperatives of homelessness as it is manifested in discussions on feminism, globalism, the diaspora, migration, hybridity, contingency, interventions, assimilations, exclusions. The estranged body, she writes, the legislated body, the violated, rejected, deprived body, the body as consummate home. In virtually all of these formations, whatever the terrain, race magnifies the matter that matters. Race magnifies the matter that matters. In this essay, Toni Morrison writes about what she calls the prison house of racism, but also the prison prison house of language. Writing projects that are emancipatory, and of course, when we look at Black women's literature in this country, it is an emancipatory project. What this project insists on is writing as an important dimension of our collective aspirations toward freedom. They influence and are influenced by those movements. In the U.S., the emergence of a late 20th century tradition of Black women writers was very much linked to the emergence of a feminism. And I say a feminism because I think there are multiple feminisms. A feminism that has always insisted on intersectionality. A feminism that has always insisted that we cannot think gender without also thinking race, without also thinking class, without also thinking nation.